It is time for Hamilton Southeastern basketball on Audio Sports Online. Tonight we come to you from Warren Central High School, the home of the Warriors, as the Royals will take on another MIC conference team, the Warren Central Warriors on Audio Sports Online. I'm Brian Scott. Glad to have you come aboard on this Saturday evening. Should be a great basketball game a little later on tonight with a pair of teams that are in the top 15. Warren Central comes in with a perfect record. They're now 8-0 after defeating Lawrence North last night, while Hamilton Southeastern, they beat Lawrence Central and moved to 11-1 on the season, and the Royals are ranked 10th. But first, we've got some JV action for you tonight here from Warren Central High School, as the JV Royals, they lost last night to Lawrence Central in overtime by the score of 58-55, despite getting 25 points from Chris Grubbs and 8 points from Mabor Majak. They'll see if they can come back tonight and defeat the Warriors. We'll quickly give you the starting lineups tonight. First, for Hamilton Southeastern, a little bit of a different look for head coach Dave Merica's JV Royals. They'll start Josh Fugate at one guard, a 5'11 junior. The other guard will be a 5'8 freshman. Bradley Beam and Cole Hornbuckle will also get the start tonight. He's a 5'11 freshman. Chris Grubbs will start at forward, a 6'4 freshman, and Mabor Majak will be in the middle, a 7'1 freshman. And that's the starting lineup for Hamilton Southeastern in this JV contest. For Warren Central, we can tell you who the starting five are. Sean Beeler, Deshaun Mills-Batey, Jalen Moore, Jacoby Robinson, and Jesse Bingham. Head coach of the Warriors is DeAndre Brock, and he will use quite a few players tonight. We'll just see if we can keep up with them as they come out onto the floor. Their JV roster actually has 15 players listed on that. You couldn't play them all in a varsity contest, but in a JV contest, it's no problem. So we will try to we'll do our best to keep up with those players as they enter the contest. So that's what we're looking for tonight. It looks like not a big crowd to start the JV contest, but we should have an excellent crowd on hand when the varsity game starts. The Warriors, again, a big win last night against Lawrence North to remain undefeated on the season. And a very enthusiastic, very excited crowd for that game. So we're expecting a big crowd tonight. Of course, Hamilton Southeastern, they got off to a hot start against Lawrence Central last night and really coasted through the rest of the game. At times, they watched a couple of runs by the Bears only to answer them and in the end come away with a pretty nice victory. But we'll talk more about that when we get ready for the varsity contest. But first, as I mentioned, JV action. The Warren Central Warriors will be in the home whites. They'll have some gold numerals with black trim, and the Hamilton Southeastern Royals in the royal blue with white numerals in white trim. Mabor Majak will jump center against Jacoby Robinson, and we're about ready for some basketball on a Saturday night. Thanks for joining me on Audio Sports Online. Once again, I'm Brian Scott as we get ready to tip things off. As the big 7'1 freshman, Jacoby Robinson didn't even bother to jump on that, but they will throw it back up again anyway. And the tip is controlled by Hamilton Southeastern, and as Chris Grubbs hands it off to Josh Fugate, who will run the point, and he immediately turns the ball over as coming in, getting the steal, getting the bucket, and drawing the foul is Jalen Moore, as he will get the bucket, and the foul will go against Cole Hornbuckle. That's his first. So a steal and a bucket and a chance for the three-point play here for Jalen Moore. That one rims out, but it's tipped out and into the hands of Jacoby Robinson, and the Warriors will reset the offense. You'll see a lot of three-point baskets attempted by Warren Central. We'll see even more of that come in the varsity game. It is one of the things they work on, especially in the pregame drills, is their three-point shooting. They'll fake the three here and send it up to the top. This will be a three. It is long by Sean Beeler. Ball's loose and finally controlled by Hamilton Southeastern. Here's Chris Grubbs, sends it out. Bradley Beeman for three. That's no good. Grubbs gets the weak side rebound, throws it up, but can't get it, and Deshaun Mills-Batey has the basketball for the Warriors. They lead 2-0. We're about a minute into this contest in the first quarter. Jesse Bingham sends it out. 3-ball from the corner is long by Deshaun Mills-Batey. Here comes Warren Central, but Batey gets back, almost intercepts it, but then throws it out of bounds as they were trying to get the ball down low. And Hamilton Southeastern will retain the basketball as that pass went out of bounds. Cole Hornbuckle will inbound it for your Royals. And he finds Josh Fugate. Fugate down into the low blocks. This is Majak, and he has it stripped away as getting a hand down low was Jalen Moore, a whistle and a foul. And Majak will be called for his first personal, second team foul against Hamilton Southeastern. 2-0, that's our score, 5:43 into this first quarter. As dribbling the basketball, that's Sean Beeler. He'll send it to Moore over to the right side. That is Jacoby Robinson with the basketball. Jesse Bingham fakes a three, steps in, shot no good. Majak fights with Robinson for the loose ball. It'll go off of Jacoby Robinson, and Hamilton Southeastern will have the basketball. Still looking for their first points in this contest. They trail 2-0 as we have 5:22 left to go in the first quarter. Cole Hornbuckle getting the start, as is Bradley Beeman. And Hornbuckle looking to trigger the inbounds. He finds Beeman, and Beeman into the front court. He finds Hornbuckle trailing, and Hornbuckle driving left side of the lane is going to hit the deck, but he is going to be fouled. Looks like Jacoby Robinson will be hit with a personal. That's his first team first, and Hornbuckle will earn a trip to the free throw line. Hornbuckle's free throw is long. Cole in the JV game yesterday, he only had 2 points, but he did provide some good guard play in last night's contest. Second free throw is on the way. That's long too. Majak with a rebound. He puts it up, rolls off the rim, and Robinson has the rebound for Warren Central. Royals still looking for their first point. Robinson drives, goes baseline, throws it long, and a player control foul is going to be called. And it will go against Jacoby Robinson. That will be his first second team foul for Warren Central. Here's Fugate. He drives, shot no good. Majak tried to get the rebound, but it falls into the hands of Jesse Bingham, and the Warriors get it into the front court, leading 2-0. We played almost 2 minutes. Here's a jumper. That one's no good by Deshaun Mills-Batey, and Chris Grubbs comes away with a rebound. Chris had 19 points in last night's JV contest, or 25 points, I should say, 19 of them coming in the first half. Royals still looking for their first points of the basketball game. They trail only 2-0. Hornbuckle runs into Bradley Beeman, and Cole finds Majak. Majak, a basket, slips into the lane, tries that running hook shot. It's no good. Warren Central brings it up court and will have a violation. Looks like Mills-Batey was trying to get the ball in, and the player he was passing to had not reestablished his position in play. Krishan Brown now into the lineup for head coach DeAndre Brock of the JV Warriors. Here's Fugate, left side. Beeman's three is on the way. That one's no good. Bingham with a rebound. Bingham to Sean Beeler. Beeler left side. Down in the corner is Jalen Moore. He's cut off by Josh Fugate. They'll go left side as this is Krishan Brown. Brown top the key. Sean Beeler, guarded by Bradley Beeman, kicks it back left side to Jesse Bingham. 4 minutes left to go, first quarter, 2-0. That's our score. Here's a jumper by Brown. It's no good, but the long rebound comes in the hands of Bingham. He sends it out. Three is no good, but getting the rebound underneath. Missing the shot was Jacoby Robinson, and Majak is finally able to control the rebound for the Royals. Fugate from Beeman, and now a whistle and a timeout is going to be called by head coach Dave Merica of Hamilton Southeastern. When we come back, Jamison Smith looks like he was getting ready to enter the lineup for Warren Central. 2-0 is our score. The only scoring, a Jalen Moore jumper. And that's all we have on the scoreboard with 3:39 left to go in this first quarter of play. Brian Scott with you from Warren Central High School tonight. The Royals, I should say, did have a chance with a couple of free throws by Cole Hornbuckle, but they came up short. And it is Jamison Smith now in. Matt Harris and Lynn Hooks also now in for head coach Dave Merica. They'll join Cole Hornbuckle, Chris Grubbs, and Mabor Majak. Ball is knocked out of bounds, and Hornbuckle will trigger the inbounds from the baseline corner, looking for somebody to give it to. Throws it high, but he threw it over the head of Majak. Here comes the Warriors, but Matt Harris is there for the steal. He'll give it to Grubbs as he picks Sean Beeler's pocket. Grubbs into the front court, pull-up jumper, right elbow. That's on the way, and the Royals are on the scoreboard with Chris Grubbs' jumper. That ties the game at 2 with 3:15 left to go in this first quarter of play. Bounce pass left side. Jacoby Robinson, he drives, throws it up high off the glass, and Robinson gets the bucket. Robinson's bucket gives the Warriors back the lead at 4-2. We're under 3 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Matt Harris gets it across the timeline, gets around a Grubbs screen. Now picks it up and looking to who to give it to. He finds Majak. Majak's jumper is a little off. And here comes Warren Central as Jamison Smith has the basketball. Gives it over to Jacoby Robinson with 2:33 left to go first quarter. 4-2 Warriors. And Robinson's going to be hit with a double dribble. He picked up the dribble and was trying to do a crossover. But when he brought it back down, he's called for the double dribble.
Number 30,
Brandon Brock now into the lineup. We were told that Warren Central has, as I mentioned, 15 players on their JV roster, and likely they will use them all, as this is DeLynn Hooks with the basketball. Spins. He finds Grubbs down low. Grubbs spins, and he's going to be fouled as he tried to make a spin move back toward the basket and put the shot up. Jacoby Robinson will be hit with his second personal, and Chris Grubbs is at the line to shoot a pair. 4-2. Warren Central with the lead. Grubbs hits the first free throw, and Josh Fugate will come in. Also coming in is Jalen Stamps for the Warriors.
Also checking in for Warren Central, number 34,
Jeremiah Moore also in. So Warriors running through their bench quickly. Meanwhile, Grubbs' his free throw is no good. Majak couldn't control the rebound, and the Royals trail 4-3. 2 minutes left to go, opening quarter of play here from Warren Central High School. JV action. As with the basketball right now, Jalen Stamps. Stamps right side, driving in the lane, high running floater and getting it up and over. Was, I believe, Jesse Bingham. He got that over the big 7'1" Mabor Majak on a nice little running floater. Here's Chris Grubbs, left side. DeLynn Hooks in the lane, drives, lays up off the glass, too strong. Ball's loose and finally controlled by Warren Central's Jalen Stamps. The Stamps will get it over the timeline with a minute 22 left to go in this opening quarter, and the Warriors leading the Royals 6-3. Left side, Jesse Bingham, who's pretty much played all of this first quarter. He hands it to Jalen Stamps. Pull-up jumper from the left elbow is no good. Majak has the rebound for the Royals, and he'll give it to Josh Fugate, and Fugate will get across the timeline as we hit the 1 minute mark. Fugate, nice pass, finds DeLynn Hooks. It was blocked, and we'll have a whistle and a blocking foul as Making his move was Jamison Smith, and he gets tripped up at the midcourt stripe by Matt Harris.
Number 20, Matt Harris starts with the foul.
So Harris with his first, team third, as Chris Grubbs gets a breather. And Chris Katowski, who didn't see any action last night, will see some minutes here as we have 51 seconds remaining in this first quarter. 6-3, Warren Central with the lead. Both teams having some trouble finding some offense here in this opening quarter. As Jamison Smith backs up near the center jump circle, he'll make his move and hand the ball off to Stamps. Stamps at the free throw line, looked at Majak, decided to back it out and give it to Jesse Bingham. Bingham drives right side, and a whistle and a foul is going to be called with 26.1 seconds remaining. It'll go against Josh Fugate, his first, fourth team foul, and they will send Jesse Bingham to the line. Bingham does have 2 points, and his first free throw is good. Bingham with one more free throw. He canned them both. He has 4 points, and the lead is 5 for Warren Central with 23 seconds remaining. Here in the opening quarter, it's 8-3, 18 seconds. Here's Matt Harris, found a lane down the right side, but the layup is no good. Here comes Warren Central with the basketball in 11 seconds. They'll kick it out. This is Brandon Brock, sends it right side, back over left side. Bingham from the left elbow. His shot at the buzzer is up and good. Jesse Bingham with 6 points for Warren Central, and that's the end of the first quarter. After one, Hamilton Southeastern trails Warren Central 10-3. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Brian Scott back with you from Warren Central High School, where Hamilton Southeastern trails the Warriors of Warren Central by the score of 10-3. Chris Grubbs with the only points for the Royals. He had a field goal and was 1 of 2 from the free throw line, while Jesse Bingham, 6 points in that quarter for Warren Central. And as we start the second quarter, Jamison Smith is joined by Jalen Stamps, Brandon Brock, Jesse Bingham, and Jeremiah Moore. We'll get you the Royal lineup in just a moment. 10-3, opening moments of the second quarter is it's Josh Fugate, Matt Harris, Chris Grubbs, Chris Katowski, and DeLynn Hooks for head coach Dave America's JV Royals as they run a bit of a 1-3-1 zone. And they will move it around. Backing it up is Jalen Stamps as they try to figure out what to do against this zone. They'll get it to Bingham. Bingham will send it right side. 3 is on the way. Shot no good as Grubbs and Bingham go after it. The ball is controlled by Warren Central, and it finally gets in the hands of Brandon Brock. And as he makes the shot, he's fouled. And Josh Fugate will be hit with his second personal 15 foul. And Brandon Brock's going to go to the line to shoot a pair. And he hits the first. Warren Central was 2 of 2 in the free throw department in the first quarter. Make it 3 for 3 as Fugate departs and Bradley Beeman will return for Coach Dave America and Hamilton Southeastern. Meanwhile, Brock with one more free throw. That one's long, and we're going to have a lane violation called. Oh, they call a foul on the rebound. And they'll call that foul against Jeremiah Moore, his first, team's fourth. So no lane violation. They'll call a foul on the block out. And the Royals have the basketball, and Bradley Beeman throws it away. Coach Dave Marico wanting a little help from the official, but they'll say it belongs to Warren Central. They lead 11-3. It's been a tough night for Hamilton Southeastern offensively. As Brock drives left side of the lane, nobody stops the basketball, and Brandon Brock gets the basket. Now a turnover on the inbounds. We'll give the ball right back to Warren Central. So some tough goings here for Hamilton Southeastern early, both offensively and keeping hold of the basketball. 3-ball on the way. Halfway down, comes back out for Jamison Smith, but there for the putback is Jesse Bingham, who now has 8 points, and it's a 15-3 Warren Central lead with 5:19 left to go in this first half. Chris Grubbs drives, kicks it out. Katowski for 3. That's a little long, and Brock comes down with a rebound. They get it into the front court, and we'll send it up to Jalen Stamps, who's guarded by Bradley Beeman. They'll send it left side. Bingham's 3 is well short and falls down to the hands of Matt Harris. Chris Grubbs with the basketball. Finds Beeman. Beeman a little floater, and he's well short. And Brock has the rebound. 4:40 left to go, first half, 15-3. And now here's a long-range 3 up and good by Jalen Stamps. And that makes it an 18-3 game as Royals have been shut out here so far in the second quarter. An 8-0 run here for Warren Central, and we have 4:15 left to go in the second. Here's DeLynn Hooks. He drives, throws a shot up high, and he will get a trip to the free throw line as the foul is going to be called against Jamison Smith. His first, team's 5th. And DeLynn Hooks is at the free throw line. And his shot is short. Brandon Miller is going to check in, as will Nate Shitkowski, as Coach Dave Marica looking for some combinations right now as Hooks is able to split the free throws. And the Royals pick up their first point here in the second quarter, but they trail 18-4. Now drive right side, come baseline. A little jumper is up. It's no good. Ball fought for underneath, and finally a whistle and a foul. And this one's going to go against Warren Central. It'll go against Jeremiah Moore. That'll be his second, team foul, number 6. So give the ball to Hamilton Southeastern on the foul, and Nate Shitkowski with the basketball, and he has it stripped from behind, but is able to pick it back up. Give it to DeLynn Hooks, and I think he was actually trying to maybe get that ball over to Matt Harris, but Hooks kind of stepped in, and we'll end up with a foul called against DeLynn Hooks. And we're going to have a timeout called by Warren Central's DeAndre Brock with 3:41 left to go in this first half. Hamilton Southeastern trails 18-4. Their only points from the field is a Chris Grubbs field goal back in the first quarter. Everything else from the free throw line, and even there, Hamilton Southeastern having some difficulties as they are 2 of 6 from the free throw line tonight. Last night in the JV game against Lawrence Central, the Royals did an outstanding job from the free throw line in that contest, but whether they're a little on the tired side remains to be seen. But a lot of shots coming up a little short. Several of the free throws also coming up a little short tonight. So we'll see if they can get things righted here with 3:41 left to go here in the second period and trailing 18-4. I'm Brian Scott. Hope you're having a great Saturday night. A little cold outside, not quite as cold as last night. And again, things should be heating up here once we get varsity action started, as a pair of top 15 teams in the state of Indiana will take to the court, with number 10 Hamilton Southeastern and number 13 Warren Central. But right now, with the JVs on the court, it will be Jamison Smith inbounding to Brandon Brock. Nate Shadkowski, he's in as Brock drives around, leaves it short, but getting the rebound was Jeremiah Moore, but he stepped on the baseline, and it's going to give the ball back to Hamilton Southeastern on the turnover. Chris Grubbs with the basketball. He will leave it off for Matt Harris, who will bring it across the timeline. 18-4. That is the score as DeLynn Hooks has the ball. Gives it to Grubbs. Chris working, drives right side of the lane, was trying to wrap it around and get it over into the hands of Brandon Miller on the opposite side of the basket, but it's knocked out of bounds. But Southeastern will have the basketball as Grubbs finds Miller over to Hooks. As we approach the 3-minute mark here in the first half, Miller over to Matt Harris. Harris to Grubbs. Grubbs to Hooks, free throw line, double team comes. The ball is stripped out of his hands by Jeremiah Moore, and Warren Central has the basketball. Cole Hornbuckle set to check in at the next dead ball as Brandon Brock has it, sends it over between the circles. That is Jeremiah Moore. Moore drives in the lane, poked away briefly by Matt Harris, but into the hands of Jalen Stamp. This is Brock, crosses over, tries to hand it off to Moore. Instead, it falls into the hands of Southeastern's Chris Grubbs. He'll drive, lay it up, get the bucket, and draw the foul. Chris Grubbs gets the bucket, and the foul will be called against Jesse Bingham. That's his second. Sean Beeler will check back in, and Cam Harris will enter the contest for Coach Dave Merica as he will take over for Nate Shakowski. Meanwhile, Chris Grubbs is at the line to see if he can convert the and one. And that shot is long and into the hands of Jesse Bingham on the rebound. 18-6 is our score. A 12-point lead as we approach 2 minutes left to go in the first half for Warren Central. They have the basketball. As Beeler drives, gives it off. Jumper from the right elbow. That's no good, but a weak side rebound is picked up by Bingham. His shot no good. Ball still loose. Jeremiah Moore gets it. And throwing the basketball up and not getting anything but the rim was Jalen Stamps. And finally, Hamilton Southeastern will come away with the basketball. Matt Harris, right side to Cole Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle back to Harris at the left wing. Cutting through the lane was Brandon Miller, poked away. The basketball did Sean Beeler, but here's Chris Grubbs. His three, that's no good. Stamp skies for the rebound for Warren Central. He'll give it left side and throw that basketball away as he was trying to hit Jamison Smith. Jalen Moore back into the lineup for Coach DeAndre Brock as a minute 12 remains on the clock, and Hamilton Southeastern trails 18-6. Matt Harris reverses, drives in the lane, puts the shot up on the runner, and gets it to go. Matt Harris cuts it to a 10-point deficit with 52 seconds remaining in the half. 18-8 is our score. Sean Beeler with the basketball gets around a Moore screen, drives to the lane, loses the basketball. Chris Grubbs has it for the Royals. The outlets to Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle tries to feed Grubbs. Grubbs with a little reverse hook shot, no good. And Warren Central's Jalen Stamp slows it down as they'll play for the final shot with 25 seconds left to go in the first half. 18-8, the Warriors with the lead. Dribbling, that's Sean Beeler. He'll back it up. He's picked up by Cam Harris. Beeler, now he'll just drive right side, and Sean Beeler will get the bucket. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds at the buzzer from 3 is no good by Cam Harris, and that's the end of the first half. Very, very disjointed and very, very offensively frustrating first half for the JV Royals. They'll head to the locker room, trailing Warren Central by the score of 20-8. We'll be back in just a little bit, let you know what's happening here in this first half as Royals basketball on ASO. Welcome back to Warren Central High School, the home of the Warriors. JV action at half. It is the Warriors leading the Hamilton Southeastern Royals by the score of 20-8. Welcome back to Royals basketball on Audio Sports Online. I'm Brian Scott, a little tongue-tied right now, but we're getting through this game, getting ready for what should be an excellent varsity contest between a pair of top 15 schools in the state of Indiana. Warren Central undefeated at 8-0, ranked 13th this week. We'll take on your Royals, who are ranked 10th coming into this week. They won last night to move to 11-1 after defeating Lawrence Central. So should be a good game, but still got some action to finish out here in the JV game. And right now for Coach Dave Merica, he's just looking for some combinations to give him some offense. Hamilton Southeastern only scored 8 points in that first half, left a lot of shots short off the rim. Even some of the free throws looked a little on the short side. And right now, Coach Merica, he's really looking for any combination he can. Let's give you the story here at the half. Chris Grubbs leads the Royals. He has 5 of their 8 points. 2 points from Matt Harris, 1 point from DeLynn Hook, and everybody that Coach Merica has on the bench saw action in that first half. Really couldn't find any other scoring opportunities there. For the Warriors of DeAndre Brock, the JV Warriors, they're led by Jesse Bingham, who has 8 points, 3 points each from Brandon Brock and Jalen Stamps, 2 points each from Sean Beeler, Jalen Moore, Jacoby Robinson. And he's already used a fair amount of players himself. As we get the third quarter underway, it'll be Matt Harris, joined by Josh Fugate, Chris Grubbs, Brandon Miller will get the start here to begin the second half as the ball goes out of bounds and another turnover. We'll give the ball to Warren Central. And Mabor Majak is the final Southeastern player on the court. We'll set up the Warren Central lineup in just a moment as Jalen Moore has the basketball, gets around a screen from Jacoby Robinson. Robinson drives, has a shot partially blocked, I believe, by Majak. Here comes Chris Grubbs. Grubbs back to Harris. Harris fakes the three, now drives in the lane. High runner is no good. Majak couldn't squeeze the orange, and here comes Warren Central the other way. Right side, three on the way. That's off. Majak tips it up, and the ball's finally controlled by Matt Harris. Harris finds Majak. Majak over to Grubbs. Grubbs in the lane, tries to leave it for Brandon Miller, left him in a tough spot. On the court, it's the Deshaun Mills-Batey. As I mentioned, Jacoby Robinson, Jesse Bingham, Jalen Moore. As they finally lob it into the Royals due to Chris Grubbs. And Sean Beeler, it is the starting 5 for Coach DeAndre Brock, and a whistle and a foul is called underneath against the Warriors, and will go against Jacoby Robinson, his third, his first team foul here in the second half. Majak over to Brandon Miller, getting the start, as I mentioned, here to begin this third quarter. 20-8, Warren Central has the lead. Driving in the lane, Josh Fugate. And Fugate gets the bucket and draws the foul. And it went against Jacoby Robinson. That's his fourth. As Fugate converts the three-point play, and Robinson will have to depart with his fourth foul, and they will bring in Jalen Stamps to replace him. The deficit's finally back to single digits at 20-11 after the three-point play by Fugate. And Warren Central has the basketball. Swinging around, like I said, they've used quite a few players here in this JV game. As Bingham has his shot contested by Majak, driving in the lane, pull-up jumper. That's no good by Jalen Moore. Mabor Majak with the rebound, and here comes Southeastern. This is Chris Grubbs. Finds Majak down low, but good hands there by Bingham. He leaves it up for Mills-Batey. He has his shot blocked by Chris Grubbs. Grubbs with the block. Here comes Fugate, left side to Matt Harris. Get it over to DeLynn Hooks. DeLynn drives right side. Over to Grubbs. Grubbs, baseline spin. Good hands as stripping the basketball was Deshaun Mills-Batey. And the ball will belong to Southeastern. Krishan Brown into the lineup. He'll take over for Jalen Moore as Hooks inbounds and throws it into the backcourt to Matt Harris. 20-11, 4:38 left to go, third quarter. And here's a steal. Mills-Batey anticipating the pass into the passing lane, and will get the easy bucket. Puts it back to an 11-point advantage for the Warriors with 4:21 left to go in the third quarter. Right side, over to Matt Harris. Matt Harris drives down the right side, and a blocking foul is going to be called as Harris sent it over to Grubbs, but and Deshaun Mills-Batey with his first foul, and it is the third team foul. Bradley Beeman comes in. They inbound it to Grubbs. Grubbs goes to the hole, leaves it short, but Beeman finally gets the loose ball as Bradley just into the lineup. He finds Majak, blocked from behind, though, from Jesse Bingham. Majak brought that ball down, and even at 7'1", when you bring it down low, people can reach and get the basketball. That's what happened there. Here's a baseline jumper on the way. Tried to get it over Majak. Did Bingham. Sean Beeler came away with the basketball, but then threw it away, trying to get it over to Bingham once again. Cole Hornbuckle in. Matt Harris will depart. So it's Beeman, Hooks, Grubbs, Hornbuckle, and Majak. Those are the five out there for Coach Dave Merica. And now we'll have a whistle as they tried to inbound to Hornbuckle. And we're going to have a foul called against Sean Beeler. It's the fourth team foul against Warren Central. Beeler's first. 3:38 left to go, third quarter, 22-11. Warren Central with a lead as they almost stole that one away as it was Jalen Stamps reaching up, trying to steal the pass. So now the Royals get it in. Majak from Grubbs. That shot's no good. Grubbs with a rebound, the putback, and the bucket. Chris Grubbs with 7 points, back to a 9-point deficit with 3:20 left to go in the third quarter. Jalen Stamps with the basketball, closely guarded by Hornbuckle, gets a screen. They'll send it right side to Bingham, down right side of the lane. They'll kick it back out. Bingham drives, sends it left side. 3-ball from the corner on the way. That's long by Beeler, and DeLynn Hooks comes away with the rebound. He finds Chris Grubbs. Grubbs back to Beeman. 2:56 left to go in the quarter. Here is Majak. He finds Hornbuckle out at the wing. Hornbuckle drives, goes baseline, and gets the bucket on the nice drive. Hornbuckle with the bucket, and that's going to cause the Warriors' DeAndre Brock to call a timeout. Or no, it's going to be Dave Merica calling the timeout. 32nd timeout as Hamilton Southeastern's cut the deficit to 7 at 22-15. With 2:47 left to go in this third quarter of play. I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for joining me tonight as the Royals and the Warriors hooking up from Warren Central High School. Crowd beginning to file in anticipation of the varsity game that is to follow. Hamilton Southeastern trailed 20-8 at the half, but they have outscored Warren Central 7-2 here in this third quarter, which still has 2 minutes and 47 seconds remaining. Out of the timeout, no changes for Coach Dave Merica, except they will go to a zone. Beeler, they send it to the free throw line, then back out to Jalen Stamps. Stamps works against Bradley Beeman and sends right side to Beeler once again. Baseline drive, and up and over floater is no good, and a weak side rebound by Grubbs. Chris in the lane, out to Hooks. Hooks runner in the lane. That's left short. And the ball is still on the ground. And Coach Dave Merica looking for the travel. And they'll give the basketball to Warren Central. Dave Merica is looking for the travel as the Warren Central player skidded about 4 feet on the court. And he's still not going to be satisfied with the explanation, but it is the Warriors basketball. They bounce it in the baseline. Bingham tries to get over Majak, leaves it short. Ball's loose, and I believe it is DeLynn Hooks who knocks it out of bounds. Merica, they get the ball inbounds down low, and now we're going to have a foul called against Mabor Majak as he bodied up Krishan Brown.
Number 50, Mabor Majak with the foul.
That is the first team foul for Southeastern as Brown leaves and Jamison Smith is into the contest for the Warriors. They lead 22-15 with 1:43. They'll swing it around to the corner, and now a whistle and a 3-second violation called as it looks like Jeremiah Moore kind of got caught in the lane expecting the entry pass. It didn't come, and he's called for 3 seconds. Warren Central will use a 2-2-1 press, but Hamilton Southeastern gets it in, but they can't hold on to the basketball as Bradley Beeman sends it over to Cole Hornbuckle. Hornbuckle unable to hang on to the basketball, and Beeman will depart as Josh Fugate now comes in. We're stuck at 22-15, 1:25 left to go in this third quarter. Royals have got it down to a 7-point deficit and have held the Warriors to only 2 points in this quarter. Warren Central with the basketball. They drive, kick it out. 3 is on the way. That is up. That is good. Jamison Smith gets the bucket. It's a 3, and it's a 10-point lead. And once again, Hamilton Southeastern can't hang on to the basketball, and they'll turn it over. 57.3 seconds left to go in this very frustrating third quarter for Coach Dave Merica and the Royals. They got it down to a deficit of 7, but the lead's back to 10 for Warren Central. Turnovers, that has been the primary issue here. There's a denial by Fugate, but it goes right back to Warren Central. 36 seconds remain as Beeler sends it back out to Jamison Smith. Back to Beeler. Beeler guarded by Fugate on a nice run out. 26 seconds remain in the quarter. Beeler gets it. He will launch the 3 from the right wing a little long, and Grubbs has the rebound. Chris running, takes it himself, throws it up, won't get the bucket, but he is going to earn a trip to the free throw line. It'll be the 5th team foul against Warren Central and the second personal against Jamison Smith as Chris Grubbs goes to the free throw line. Chris is 1 of 3 from the free throw line. He has 7 points in the contest. And that free throw is long. 12.1 seconds remain in this third quarter. Second free throw is up. That's short. So Chris misses both free throws. First one's long, second one was short. And it's still a 10-point lead. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. The baseline jumper is up. It's no good, and that's the end of the third quarter of play. Southeastern, they cut the deficit to as few as 7, but the lead's back to 10 as Warren Central leads Hamilton Southeastern 25-15. Fourth quarter action up next. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Welcome back to Warren Central High School. I'm Brian Scott, getting ready to begin the fourth quarter here in what's been a very, very frustrating night, especially offensively for the JV Royals. 15 points is what they have to show for after three quarters, and they did manage to cut the deficit to as little as 7 there in the third quarter, but a three ball by Jamison Smith pushed the lead back to 10, and that's where we stand beginning the fourth quarter as the Warriors lead Hamilton Southeastern 25-15. To begin the fourth quarter for Hamilton Southeastern will be Josh Fugay, Matt Harris, Chris Grubbs, Chris Katowski to start the fourth quarter, and Mabor Majak. Royals will have the basketball. Still looking for some offensive combinations as Coach Dave Marica, as Fugate finds Chris Grubbs. Grubbs one-on-one in the lane, spins back to Fugate. Fugate, a little bit of a head fake, kicks it out to Katowski, top of the key. There is Matt Harris for three. That one's just off, but Majak with those long arms, he's able to haul it in. Here's a long-range three. Josh Fugate hits. Fugate with the three. He has 6 points. It's a 25-18 Warren Central advantage as they'll have the basketball. As we'll try to set the lineup here as best we can. As Jalen Stamps is joined by Sean Beeler, Jeremiah Moore, Jesse Bingham. They get the ball into the hands of Moore. He's rejected by Majak. He just so happens to get bailed out by being able to get the ball into the hands of Jamison Smith. Nice job by Stamps to save it from going into the backcourt. And Warren Central will try to run their offense now looking at a zone. Coming backside with Smith. They'll get it over to Bingham, back to Smith. Smith, right wing, drops the ball off to Jeremiah Moore. Skip pass over to the other corner. They'll do a nice little bounce pass, and getting the bucket was Jeremiah Moore on a nice feed there from, I believe that was Jamison Smith. 27-18, 9-point lead for Warren Central, 5:10 left to go in the basketball game. Harris over to Grubbs. Grubbs with the defender playing off. Thought he might try to pop the three, but instead he finds Fugate, who drives, and they're going to call Josh with a player control foul. Fugate with his third personal. It's the second team foul, and Jacoby Robinson will enter the lineup for the Warriors. He started this game. Jeremiah Moore will depart. 27-18 is the Warrior advantage with 4:51 left to go in the fourth quarter. And as they feed the ball to the free throw line, Jesse Bingham is immediately fouled. And it's Josh Fugate with the foul. That's his fourth, third team foul. And off the inbounds, a three ball is up and good by Jalen Stamps. And that makes it a 30-18 advantage. Fugate over to Harris. Ball is stolen. Stepping in, getting the basketball and putting it up and converting is Jacoby Robinson. Robinson with his first bucket since the first quarter. He has sat for the most part in this contest. Katowski finds Majak. Majak with the hook shot, banks it in and draws the foul. Jesse Bingham called for the foul. That's his third, team 6. Bradley Beeman is in. And Mabor Majak will try to convert the three-point play. And he does. The big man has been shooting free throws rather well. And that three-point play makes it a 32-21 Warrior lead. 4:07 remains in the fourth quarter. Stamp gets around a screen, kicks it right side, almost losing it is Jacoby Robinson, so we'll send it back to Jalen Stamp. Stamps left side down into the corner And dribbling it back out to hand the ball back off to Stamps is Jamison Smith. Stamps, he gives up the screen, drives, and goes hard to the hoop, and he's going to be bailed out on a foul called against Chris Grubbs. That'll be Chris's first, team's fourth. And it'll send Jalen Stamps to the line to shoot a pair of free throws, and he hits the first. Stamps now with 7 points, and he can make it 8 with a free throw converted here. 33-21, that's our score, and he misses the second free throw. Majak with a rebound, he'll give it to Matt Harris. A 12-point advantage for Warren Central, and 3:31 left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Beeman over to Harris. Harris bodied up by Jalen Stamps. Drives in the lane, leaves it to Majak, and Majak is going to have the ball poked out of bounds. As getting a hand on that was, I believe, Jesse Bingham. Chris Katowski will trigger the inbounds from the baseline. And he finds Majak. Majak puts the ball on the court and has to give it back to Beeman. Beeman thought about a three, instead finds Chris Grubbs, goes baseline, lays it up, lays it in. And Grubbs gets the bucket, and we'll have a timeout called by head coach Dave Merica. It will be a full timeout. He has 2 remaining. With 3:05 left to go in the fourth quarter, Southeastern trails Warren Central 33-23. I'm Brian Scott. Glad you can join me on this Saturday night. Crowd beginning to fill in for what should be a pretty good varsity basketball game coming up between number 13 Warren Central and number 10 Hamilton Southeastern. Both teams coming off of big wins. Warren Central defeated Lawrence North last night to move to 8-0 on the season. Meanwhile, the Royals, of course, their only loss this season is to the number 1 team in the state, and that would be the North Central Panthers. Both teams coming off of holiday tournament championships. So it should be an excellent basketball game. So stay tuned. We expect to see that game starting probably right around on time at around 7:30. Out of the timeout, Chris Grubbs, Matt Harris, Bradley Beeman, Chris Katowski, and Mabor Majak. Those are the 5 on the court for Hamilton Southeastern. Jacoby Robinson, Jesse Bingham, Sean Beeler, Jalen Stamps, and Jamison Smith are the 5 out there. Here's a long outlet pass. They get it into the hands of Stamps, who is tripped up from behind. It looks like got his feet tangled up. Matt Harris is going to be called for the foul, his second, 5th team foul. And Warren Central inbounded from the baseline. They get it into the hands of Sean Beeler. Beeler loses it, and now they'll call it over and back, is unable to get the basketball before it hit into the backcourt. And the turnover gives the ball back to Southeastern, trailing by 10. Still with plenty of time, 2:57 left to go in the fourth quarter. Here's Katowski. He almost loses the basketball, now gives it to Chris Grubbs. Grubbs drives in the lane, loses it, poked away. Beeman has it. His 3 is up, and Bradley Beeman nails the 3. Beeman's 3 cuts the deficit to 33-26. And it will be a full timeout. That will be only 1 timeout remaining for Hamilton Southeastern. They've used both of their 30-second timeouts, and they have 1 full timeout remaining. So we'll see what the Royals can do. They've cut the deficit down to 7 after that Beeman 3. And the Royals will once again set up the press. 2:38 remains in the fourth quarter, 33-26. Warriors have the lead and the basketball. Robinson into the front court, and he's called for palming. Brought it up the court, and the official says he got the hand underneath the basketball. And Josh Fugate, who has 4 personals, he's going to check in for Chris Katowski. A 7-point Warrior lead, but Hamilton Southeastern trying to chip away at it here in the fourth quarter. They've been close to 7. Here's Mabor Majak in the paint with that little left-handed hook shot, and it's now a 5-point difference. Here's a baseline drive. Majak is going to be called for the foul as he got beat on the baseline. It is his third, team foul number 6. Both teams with 16 fouls now. They feed it down low, and the shot is short. But cut there for the rebound and the putback is Jacoby Robinson on the miss from Jesse Bingham. 35-28, a minute 55 left to go in the fourth quarter. Beeman down to Majak. Majak, he will get another one. Mabor Majak with 7 points in the fourth quarter. It's back to a 5-point deficit. A minute 40 left to go. And now a tie-up with Chris Grubbs and Jacoby Robinson. And Grubbs will be hit with a foul, but it is the 7th team foul against the Royals. So the 1-and-1 now in effect. And Jacoby Robinson is at the line. Robinson has 6 points. This is his first trip to the free throw line. And that shot long, and there's Majak with a rebound. It's a 5-point deficit. The Royals can make it a 1-possession game. Here's Bradley Beeman to Matt Harris. Gets overplayed on the basketball to Fugate. Over to Majak. Majak kicks to the corner. Here's Beeman for 3. That one rolls around and won't drop. And getting the basketball is Jacoby Robinson, stolen by Chris Grubbs. And let's see. The foul's going to go against Grubbs. They'll call Chris Grubbs for his third 18 foul, which means we're heading to the other end of the court for the 1-and-1. Robinson, who missed the front end of the 1-and-1 just a few seconds ago, is now back at the line. A minute 15 left to go in the fourth quarter. The Warriors lead by 5. And he missed that one. Majak with a rebound once again. Here's Fugate into the front court. A minute 8 left to go. Chris Grubbs over to Josh. Fugate drives, lays it up, and gets the bucket. And the Royals will call their final timeout with 59.4 seconds. It's a 1-possession game with Warren Central leading 35-32. Mabor Majak, he has got 7 points here in this fourth quarter to help lead the rally. Josh Fugate, 5 points in this quarter, and the Royals have also had a couple of big threes, one from Fugate and one from Bradley Beeman. But it's now a 1-possession game with 59.4 seconds remaining. But the Royals are now out of timeouts as Coach Dave Merica has used his final. And the Royals will set up the press. Jacoby Robinson brings it into the front court. 51 seconds and counting. Robinson throws it into the corner, back to Robinson as they'll try to play a little keep away. Majak will reach in. And while Jacoby Robinson has not fared very well at the free throw line, that is Mabor Majak's 4th personal, the 9th team foul. And once again, it is actually Jesse Bingham with the line for the 1-and-1. My apologies. And he does hit the first of the 1-and-1. 40.2 seconds. Bingham hits both free throws. He has 10 points. It is now a two-possession game at 37-32. 37 seconds remain in the fourth quarter. Fugate with the basketball, drives, lays it up, gets the bucket. And evidently Coach DeMerica had one more timeout remaining because they'll grant it to him. So 29.4 seconds left. It is a one-possession game with a score 37-34. Mabor Majak, who's played a big role here in this fourth quarter, he has 7 points, as well as a couple of rebounds. Josh Fugate, who also has been playing with 4 fouls, he has 7 points here in this quarter. But the next foul for Hamilton Southeastern will put Warren Central in the double bonus. Meanwhile, Warren Central has 16 fouls. The only player in serious foul trouble is Jacoby Robinson. He has 4 personals. Out of the timeout, it'll be Matt Harris, Bradley Beeman, Chris Grubbs, Mabor Majak, and Josh Fugate for Coach Dave Merica. And once again, the press is set up. Jalen Moore will inbound the ball for the Warriors. They'll look for the baseball pass, and now they'll get a delay of game against Majak as he stepped across. They'll get the ball inbound to Jesse Bingham, and Bingham is going to be bodied up. And Coach Dave Merrick is going to sit down before he gets teched. And they're going to get Mabor Majak, and that'll be number 5 for the big man. And that means it's the double bonus in effect. So Majak will have to leave after having a very impressive fourth quarter with 7 points. And Cole Hornbuckle will be in. The double bonus is in effect, and Jesse Bingham is shooting a pair. Misses the first. It is still a one-possession game with 27 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. Bingham's second free throw is good. So now it's a two-possession game. 4-point lead. As Beeman almost was hit with an over and back. Here's Hornbuckle, back to Beeman. 15 seconds remain. Chris Grubbs with the basketball. Out to Fugate. Ball fakes in the lane, kicks it out. Hornbuckle for 3. That's good. Hornbuckle with 3. And immediately a foul is called. That 3 makes it a 1-point game. So even though we'll head to the other end of the court with 2 free throws on the way, it is still a 1-point game. Foul's on Chris Grubbs, his 4th. And shooting 2 will be Jalen Stamps with the double bonus in effect. No matter what happens, it'll be a one-possession game with 3.9 seconds remaining. And Stamps missed the first free throw. Royals are out of timeout, so they'll have to do something and get the ball up quickly up the court. Stamps' second free throw is good. Grubbs, baseball pass to Fugate. Fugate, turn, shot is up. It's no good, and that's the final shot of the game. Royals rally in the fourth quarter, but it'll come up just a bit short as Warren Central wins this contest 39-37. Give us a minute. We'll have some final thoughts, final stats in just a moment. This is Royals basketball on ASO. Welcome back to Warren Central, where the JV game has just concluded. And the Royals, they rallied there in the fourth quarter, but they're going to come up just shy as they fall to Warren Central by the score 39-37. Hamilton Southeastern outscored the Warriors 22-14 in that fourth and final quarter, but they just simply couldn't make up for the offensive inadequacies they had there in that first half, and they fall 39-37. Let's give you the final stats for tonight. For Hamilton Southeastern, Josh Fugate finished with 10 points, 7 of them in the fourth quarter. 9 points for Chris Grubbs. Mabor Majak had 7 points, all in that final quarter. He kind of helped spur the rally for the Royals. Cole Hornbuckle had 5 points, 3 points from Bradley Beeman, 2 points from Matt Harris. Deland Hooks had 1 point. Chris Katowski, Cam Harris, Brandon Miller, and Nate Chukowski, they all played. They did not score. For the Warren Central Warriors, they were led by 11 points from Jesse Bingham, 8 points from Jalen Stamp, 6 points from Jacoby Robinson, 3 points each from Jamison Smith and Brandon Brock, 2 points each from Shane Beeler, Deshaun Mills-Batey, Jalen Moore, and Jeremiah Moore. Krishawn Brown played. He did not score. Warren Central led 10-3 after the first quarter, 20-8 at the half, 25-15 after the third quarter, and they hold off Hamilton Southeastern as the JV team wins 39-37. Stay tuned. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll have varsity action. Should be a good one. The number 10 Hamilton Southeastern Royals and the number 13 ranked Warren Central Warriors, all coming up on Audio Sports Online.